Hello once again, and welcome to the European Community Clash for PlanetSide 2. I'm your host, PoisonedAl. Sorry we weren't here last week, there were some technical difficulties, but we've upgraded now to the semi-finals. So, we've left the sands of Endar to the snowy wastes of Esamir. Hope you brought a nice warm jumper and some woolly socks, because get comfy, because this has been a good one. We brought to you 16 of the top outfits around the world, and 8 from the EU and 8 from the US. We are the EU ones, if you haven't noticed. All battling out for exclusive in-game rewards, community acclaim, and of course, our amusement. So let's gather around the campfire, throw on some C4 blocks, and get comfortable and meet our contestants. Tonight, we bring you the jovial Jesters and the infamous Inni Elite. To my right, hello again, Furiosus. Nice to have you here. First of all, I have to ask, why is it Inni Elite instead of INI Elite? It is spelt INI. That is clearly an abbreviation. Please tell me, I have to know.
You see, it's not an abbreviation.
No.
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure why it's capitalized. We started in PlanetSide 1, and then I wasn't there for that. It's taken from a word from a Stephen King book, known as the Well of Inni, or at least that was our name in Ultima Online.
Oh. So nothing to do with belly buttons?
No.
Oh, I'm rather disappointed. Well, in that case, with that cleared up, where are you from, and what does your outfit specialise in?
I'm from Britain, but our outfits from players are all over Europe, and beyond.
From Miller. Miller, of course.
Yeah, from Miller. And we specialise in infantry play, although with Community Clash we've had to change things.
So,
okay?
Yeah, sorry. Sorry, I was waiting for you to say more, but okay. Okay. So, how did your tactics change? Because we're not on Esamir anymore. We're on a different lane on Esamir. And one thing guys will notice, there is no central base on this lane. So, you planning to do something different this time around?
Yeah, we're going to have to do something different. We spent a lot of time practicing this one. We spent a lot of time practicing the other one before. I mean, you know, we knew Red Octobers were a big threat. So, you know, we're fighting today to pass on to the next game. So, we have practiced a lot.
Yeah, so, that match against Red October was fantastic. Of course, they were brought into the last minute and didn't have that much time to practice, but that was a very high caliber outfit you just beat. You must feel a bit more confident now after that win.
I think we do feel confident, but it's unwise to approach anything without reserve and preparation. We've played actually Red October on this lane, trying out strategies and things like that. So
right,
we're confident here.
That's fantastic. So what do you think of your opponents, the Jesters? I'm sure you've watched their activities in the past. You've watched the last time they played, I'm sure. Yeah,
I sort of hold my opinions back in a sense. I'm looking to see how they play, and we'll give them the respect any opponent deserves and play our best. Let's hope they play theirs.
Well, that's fantastic. Right, I'll move over to Power Puffers. Hello, I've been told that you have to pay homage.
Yeah.
I suggest you should do so now.
I'd like to pay homage to my king, Greedle, King of Fried Chicken, who is who's been unfortunately voted as leader of Cobalt over me. It's quite, you know, ironic that he was voted in by mostly Jesters as well. They didn't vote me in, which is yeah. So I'd like to pay homage to him.
So you love him, don't you?
Yeah, no, I love King of Greedle, King of Fried Chicken, man. He's amazing.
Okay, you've been put up against the rather infamous Inni. So how do you feel about that?
Feel scared. Feel happy that we've made it this far. Yeah, Inni a good outfit, man. They're a really good outfit. We've watched some of the old matches. You know, we've been keeping an eye on Inni as well, checking out their forms. And just thank God that we have our own private section of the forums that they aren't aware of. And yeah.
Well, you've beaten some Miller guys before. Surely you can do it again. Say, you can do it, mate. I believe in you. Right.
Yeah, no, like it was a good fight with Rock Paper Shotgun. In the Elite is a totally different level, in my opinion. And they're a really good team, and I'm just happy we've made it this far. I've told Mike, because we're not. I wouldn't class ourselves as being on the same level, as an intense level as in the Elite, and focused on gaming. We're very much, when I founded the outfit back in September last year, in 2012, it was based on an outfit. We had a kind of a laid back style of gaming. We weren't really at that time. I'd never envisaged us to have tournaments or anything like that. So to make it this far, I'm happy. Anything, I've told my guys the same thing. Anything more than this is just icing on the cake, and I'm just happy to be fighting a good outfit like any Elite.
Yeah. What does your outfit specialize in again? Tell us, and all the people in TV land.
When it's changing, it's slowly changing. When I formed the outfit, I led it, platoon at it for the first 12 months. It was mostly myself platoon leading, and it was all about the infantry, man. I love infantry play, and the outfit was specialized in infantry. I mean, we none of the guys even knew how to fly at one stage, and eventually we had new guys come in from different outfits who enjoyed flying. Then we set up our own flying squadron, Jesters, Aces, and then we had our own specialized infantry, which is small squad play, because we mostly play with a platoon, and they were just like 12 guys, and they'd focus on highly organized squad play. And now it's changing. Now we're still very much, our foundation is in infantry, but we've got some very good pilots. I'm sure Rock Paper Shotgun would notice last week.
Yeah, your airplay last week was exceptional. Any also rather good at air, even though you're not exactly air outfit, are you?
Not really.
You've managed to actually beat Daddy of all people and Red October's Air Force, so that was extremely impressive.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a good player and you put the effort and time in, you can practice to pretty much do anything you like in this game.
And of course, I forgot to mention Jesters, of course, from the wonderful Cobalt server. So if you want to say hi to them, go head over to Cobalt. And of course, any are from Miller. So, without further ado, let's go on to the rules, shall we? Very simple. There's 24 players in each team. They start at a designated home base. Today, we're starting at Ymir Bilab and not Amp Station. There are 2 45-minute rounds. And in the words, at the end of each round, they swap ends like football. There's no 3-point bases this time, so that rules out. But for the 2-point bases, you get 2 points. And for the final home base, you get 5 points. If the final base is captured, that's the end of the round. And we swap sides, as I mentioned. Now, I think that's clear. We'll hand over to the one, the only, the wonderful German Klyka. Say hello.
Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Klyka. Thank you very much, PoisonedAl, for being a wonderful host, punching my camera in the face repeatedly. That's how I like it. That is how I like it. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are in the semi-finals of the Community Clash already, and I have to say, like, I'm really looking forward to this match, because last week, didn't happen. And I've got a fever, and the only cure is more dead nanites. So, without further ado, like I said, we are on Esamir right now. We've got Ini Elite, and we've got the Jesters, who, thank you very much for the representatives. You guys can, of course, now go back to your starting base, because we're going to do a quick flyover of the lane, do a little bit of more talking, and then we're going to go straight into it. A little thing beforehand for you listeners and viewers out there right now. I will probably have to do some casting alone, because we're still waiting for my co-caster Kid Riot. Fara cannot actually join me today because he's actually playing with Ini Elite. So, you know, it's gonna be a bit hard to hear him over all the explosions and killing and chainsaw blades. But yeah, with that, without further ado, here is a quick overview of the lane that we are going to play on tonight. And with that, that was the lane, and here we are, we're already looking at Innie's Galaxy, which I think when the match is going to start in about 30 seconds or so, is going to lift off and fly towards the Esamir Biolab. There we go, 30 seconds before the match start. Now, Innie is going to attack from the north, from Not Amp Station, while, of course, the Jesters, respectively, are going to be fighting from the south, which is Esamir Biolab. There is no middle base on this lane, which is actually really amazing, because it means there's not this first base that everyone is going to fight for. It's going to be a really quick race or a setup of front lines to see who's going to get into the enemy's first base and take it over. And I'm really excited to see how that turns out. Now let's go back to here where Innie starts, and the match goes on. And here we are, Innie Elite versus the Jesters. Innie Elite immediately having some air power, pulling a lot of Mossies. We're seeing about, that's going to be about 10 Mossies or so. They've got a Liberator, and I'm not quite sure what they're doing. They're landing the Liberator, pulling it in, and their Galaxy's moving out. As you can see, I'm following Innie. That's why I see all their waypoints, and I guess they put some kind of front line up. And here comes the Jesters. Jesters immediately dropping someone. He's got ejection seat. I think he's an infiltrator, and he's, oh, yep, he's an infiltrator. He's right there. And he's already taking Geological Survey Camp, capturing it. That means Innie will not actually be able to go over to Frostfall Overlook to capture it. They have to take care of this man right here. Now, the thing is, it seems that Innie has their own guy on the ground right now. And he's looking. He's looking for the enemy infiltrator. He's doing it. And while that is happening, of course, we have a massive air battle, as has to happen at the start of a comp clash. They are so high up in the air, I could barely even see them. They're so high up, I'm actually out of bounds. That's how high up they are. And let's see, we've got... oh my god, that's a lot of fighting. I can barely see what's going on. We've got multiple Reavers on the ass of this one Mosquito. Yep, that Mosquito, and he goes down. On the same way, I do see... I think I see more Jesters than I see Innie right now. Lots of debris coming down. We still got... What do we have here? We've still got the Galaxy. Galaxy coming down to the Geological Survey Camp, which is still being neutralized by this dude. And then I think my graphics drivers just crashed. And, okay, here we are. So. Let's see what happened. I ranked up to battle rank 3. We still got an air battle going on. Let's see what happened to Geological Survey Camp. The Geological Survey Camp actually in the hands of Innie, so they managed to defend it. They've got quite some people of Alpha Squad on the ground right here, while I'm getting all these wonderful item unlocks. And we've got the air battle still raging on. And it seems that Innie has decided to pull multiple Liberators and also bring in a Galaxy, or 2 Galaxies actually. We've got a little air battle here going on again. This Reaver, really good flying from him here. Mossy and the Liberator trying to take him down. 2 Mossies now on him. He's not gonna live through that. No, he explodes. So with that, we've got this big air battle, but we're still here at Geological Survey. So, which has actually been captured back by the Jesters. And the Jesters brought in a Sundra right there. Well, Innie is still very good at defending it. So what else do we have going on? We've got the Sundra right there. Oh, and we've got smoke. Oh, we all love smoke, don't we? So, Jester's now bringing in a lightning directly on the point. That's gonna take care of those infantry right there. On the other hand, Innie, of course, setting up with heavies up there on the balcony, being taken out. Oh, no, he manages to take him out, but Jesters know that he's in there, and they're gonna go for it. At the same time, we've got this Sundra. Seems like a double Fury. Yup, double Fury. We know how strong that is. Directly on the ground, but Innie has the air superiority right now. They've got 2 Liberators up, 1 Liberator up against the base. Or is it, there's a second one? There is actually a second one. 2 Liberators up above the base, and 2 Mossies. And they keep holding the point, but now the Jesters actually seem to have won the last man standing, capturing the point back. Nope, they're not outnumbering them anymore, but they still have some people here in this building. At the same time, we've got Innie moving in with a lightning, trying to take out that Jester Sundra. Sadly, it is a Skyguard lightning, it seems like. Yep, that's 2 Skyguard lightnings for Innie right there, taking care of that Jester Sundra. Now at this time, we've got the Liberator and this Galaxy here, which is a mobile spawn point for Innie, hovering above the base, and they are capturing, and they have actually taken the point at Frostfall Overlook. So right now it doesn't seem like the Jesters are putting up a really big defense here. They've just got some sporadic infantry coming out of the teleporter rooms. Now, Jesters seem to be getting ready. Yup, they are. They're getting ready for a little max crash. That's what you want to do here. And here they come. Jesters with the max crash. Oh, well, 2 maxes. 2 maxes is that. Inina knows they're coming, though. They've put up proximity mines. They've put up lots of stuff. They've got liberators up in the air. Jesters not going straight for the point, actually. The max is staying outside. Hello. Having the normal infantry go in. And there's Kid Riot. Kid, welcome. There's Kid Riot. A little late, but still welcome to the party, man. Kid?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Wonderful. Are you gonna join us on the server then?
Yeah, I'll be right there.
Wonderful, because we've got the Jesters who've now managed to re-secure Frostfall Overlook with a beautifully executed max crash, but Inni still has some infantry outside here that are engaged in some heavy fighting, but they are getting flanked from the Jesters from both the north and the south, so that's not going to work out. On the other hand, you've got these single Inni soldiers here on the eastern side of the base, but Inni always know how to play infantry. They've got their spawn beacon up on this building, and they've taken the best defensible building in this base, giving them a wonderful overview. Just if you just look what this heavy assault here has, like you can see the entire way from the spawn points to the capture point room. And I think that once they have their alpha squad together, they're gonna just rush in there and take that point back. At the same time, let's see what everyone else is up to. So Inni bringing in some more Sky Guards, it seems. They really want that air superiority. They've got the Liberator up. Frostfall Overlook now defended. Inni not going for the point just yet. They need to set up their offensive first. And at the same time, we've got the Galaxy always hovering, throwing down people. 2 Liberator, 1 Liberator up in the sky with some Mossies. I don't see any air from the Jesters right now. Not quite sure what they're doing. They seem to be a bit focused on the ground war right now, because they've got... Inni has a massive air force right now. 2 Liberators, Shredder Liberators, or 3 Liberators, make that 3 Liberators. But here come the Jesters, bringing in 2 Reavers, but how are those 2 Reavers... Well, they take down 1 Mossy, but how are those 2 Reavers going to survive against this superior firepower in the air? Reaver number 1 goes down, and Reaver number 2 flies behind the biolab. Oh, and they're actually pulling the Reavers at the biolab now, meaning that Inni can easily shoot them down. But at the same time, we still have Inni not on the capture point, and they've actually lost all of their ground forces at Frostfall Overlook. And that's because the Jesters, of course, have taken Geological Survey Camp. And Inni, they know about it, they're going for it, but what do the Jesters have against that? Because they don't actually have anyone here. I don't see a Jester spawn beacon. They didn't hack the vehicle terminal either, and Inni is taking the point back. This, of course, buying the Jesters some time at Frostfall Overlook, so the Inni can't actually engage it. Now, Kit, you just like jump in here like whenever you're ready.
Yeah, no, I was what came to mind when you were talking about what Jesters had pulled the air, like I was about to say, it was like pouring a bucket on a fire. Yeah, and actually it's interesting because according to Jesters, they have 3 or 4 ace pilots.
They do. By the way, you're going to log into the NC character and follow the Jesters, right?
Yeah, I'm here.
Cool, wonderful. All right, well, everybody, and with that, let's officially welcome Kid Riot to the stream. He's going to be my wonderful partner caster for today. But yeah, so Kid, I'm kind of hovering around Frostfall Overlook right now, and I see this massive air force of Inni. They don't actually have any boots on the ground, and it seems the Jesters are just content with pulling their air at the biolab, which pretty much means they're spawning directly into the guns of Inni. And with that, they just lost another Reaver, and they are about to lose this Zephyr Liberator here.
Yeah, and I mean, they have to know that's not going to work. I mean, if you're throwing 1 or 2 airplanes at 4 or 5 established guys in the air, it's not going to work.
Yep. We've got a single Jester Reaver flying very, very low to the ground, but directly at a Skyguard. And I think he's trying to head for Geological Survey Camp, but he actually had to go down and died. So right now, Geological Survey Camp is has just Alpha Squad. Yep, they defended it. Alpha Squad of Inni defended it. And with that, I'm pretty sure they're going to move on to Frostfall as quickly as possible. They've got a Sundra rolling in, and I take it that all those Alpha Squad guys are going to either jump into that Galaxy, or they're just going to redeploy and jump on this Sundra right here.
Yeah, and it may not seem like Jesters did a lot with that move, but every second counts, especially in a match like this. I mean, it's a one in, one out, right? It's a single elimination. So any seconds you could buy for your team to maneuver and to get an advantage is worth it.
That's very true, but right now, I mean, Inni is just... They're doing what you have to do on this lane. They have a front line. Like, they have their air in the pretty much split up. It's like they've got a few guys behind who are hovering above the bases to try and, you know, like, take care of any stragglers. And then they've got the biggest force of the air, just like close to the biolab. Not too close, of course, but close to the biolab, trying to pick off the air as it spawns. We've got the Jesters, of course, also pulling 2 Skyguards, because, I mean, you just want to have 1 or 2 Skyguards in the mix, to be honest here, but I don't really see how the Jesters are going to approach the base here.
Well, I mean, looking at the map, they have 1 guy at Geological Survey, but they have most of the forces committed to Frostfall Overlook, and they were actually using anti-air rocket launchers, and they were able to snag 1 Liberator, so I mean, in that sense, it did work out.
It does seem like they do really have this 1 guy at Geological Survey, because the point is flashing. Inni does have 2 or 3 people there with dark light flashlights looking for him, though. But of course, in this crystal formation, he can just sit there with Stalker Cloak and he can just hide. He did just move away from the point, though, so I think that guy is just an infiltrator, is going to try and be a fawn in the side of Inni. Do you feel that the Jesters are actually running some kind of time play here?
Honestly, I think that their tactic right now may be to save resources and focus on this anti-air, kind of create a no airspace around Frostfall so that they can move forward. But like we all know, I mean, it's been hammered into our brains time and time again, to counter air, you need air.
Very true. And Inni obviously doing that.
Yep, I mean, Inni knows what's up, and I'm actually surprised. I thought it would be a little more even in the air.
Well, that's the thing. There was a really, really big air fight at the very beginning. Sadly, my PlanetSide 2 decided that was a good time to crash me out of the game. But apparently the air battle was very handily won by Inni, who then, after losing their Mossies, decided to pull some Liberators, and with that, you know, secured air superiority. And now Inni actually going for the point on Frostfall Overlook.
Yeah, they actually have 2 Sunders, but Jesters know exactly where they're at, so we should see some rotations here.
But we've got, again, this lone Jesters infiltrator. He's hacked the point at Geological Survey again, and Inni has to have 2 people at all time at that base trying to find him with the dark light. But of course, all he's doing is pretty much walking far away from them, hiding somewhere, and the moment they're gone, he's just gonna get close to the point again. Because otherwise, these 2 guys have to stand directly at the point at all times, and that takes 2 people out of the fight, while Jesters only commit a single guy.
Yeah, and actually it's really interesting because beyond that 1 infiltrator, one of the infiltrators is 2 infiltrators. One of the infiltrators there is a Delta squad leader, and he has a full squad, so he can drop a beacon. So I think what we're going to see here is, as soon as Jesters can resecure Frostfall and feel comfortable about it, you should see a lot of rotations to Geological Survey.
Yeah, and we do actually have the Jesters. They just put up 2 Skyguards to the west on the western hills of Frostfall. 3 Skyguards actually. One of them is going to get C4 right now, though, and they're just using him to take down Inni Sunderers, it seems, and to also just, you know, take down Inni infantry. Like, they're just providing air and infantry support. And while Inni did manage to capture the point, Jesters are now actually taking it back.
Yeah, I think for the sake of community clash, we should have a above Skyguard hashtag.
Seriously,
they should be able to kill everything.
Definitely everything, especially tanks, because we barely use those.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so we've got Inni now. They've actually brought 3 Sunderers in on the southern side of the base, set up in a beautiful formation where I think you could actually blow up 2 Sunderers at a time with the same C4. But still, they've got them set up. It seems they've got some gunners in there. One of them is deployed. They actually have, it seems that all 3 of them, yes, all 3 of them are repair Sunderers. So they do repair each other. And they just use that as a staging ground, trying to take the point. But the Jesters actually, which I'm very surprised by, actually holding off Inni pretty well here. I mean, they're not storming in from all doors. They just managed to take out the Jesters, but that took them a while.
Yeah, but one of the things I'm not seeing is that this double stack building right next to the spawn is very critical to this base, because you get the height advantage in almost every position in this little area. And I haven't seen a lot of teams take advantage of it, which is pretty interesting.
Yep.
Actually, just as I'm speaking, you have 3 Jesters running into the double stack to try and get some rockets onto those Sunderers.
Yeah, they are trying it, but it seems like the Jesters are sending their infantry out a little bit in a trickle here. Just kind of going Sunderer hunting. They did manage to take down one of the Sunderers. So I guess the triple repair Sunderer actually didn't help them that much. But I mean, against C4, of course, that's really, really hard to do. So Inni now very comfortably in the southern area of the base, heading with some people back to the capture point, because the Jesters again managed to flip it back with just 2 or 3 people. So it seems that Inni is, even though they have the perfect Sunderer setup, and they should just be able to sit in this room and defend the point, it seems that they are just content with flipping the point and then moving away from it, letting the Jesters take it back. Because
how many do Inni have committed to Frostfall? I was about to ask you.
Well, I see pretty much the entire Alpha squad. They've got a Sunderer from Bravo squad to the west, actually, up in the hills. So they've got a spawn point from the west, and they've still got the 2 Sunderers to the south. They've got multiple spawn beacons pretty much everywhere. Apart from that, they've got some air going on. They're bringing in another Liberator. It seems that the Jesters did manage to take out a bit of the Inni Air Force, but they are rebuilding. And they've got 2 or 3 people back at Geological Survey Camp just defending it. So right now, Jesters actually air superiority here.
Yeah, I was about to say. You read my mind exactly. There's about a 6 Fever counterattack from the air from Jesters.
Yeah, and they are going for those deployed Sunderers to the south. And both of them are actually down. Both of them are down, so the only Sunderer remaining... Oh, actually, all Inni Sunderers have been destroyed at pretty much the exact same time, meaning that Inni right now only has beacons as spawn points. And the Jesters are mounting a big infantry offensive from that spawn room, but Inni has the better defensible positions, I think.
Yeah, and I find it really interesting because Inni is really known for their infantry, and it just didn't do anything in this case. Or maybe it wasn't as effective as they thought it would be. Which may go to show how just effective Jesters are with their infantry too.
Yeah, it is quite interesting though that we have only 27 minutes remaining in the match and no base has yet to be flipped, and we're still 2 minutes away from this base being flipped. I mean, I think that really shows you that people who underestimated the Jesters, they should eat a lot of crow, because the Jesters have shown some amazingly good defense play on this base. Like Frostfall Overlook, I mean, right now Inni is holding it, but that took them a lot of time to get that first base in there.
Yeah, and I don't know what eating a lot of crow means, but I'm one of those, so I guess I'm chewing on crow. I don't know if I'm saying that right.
Yes, you are chewing on the crow, and I think it's you have to chew it quite well. Chew it until it gets soft and mushy.
Oh, okay. Well, consider it soft and mushy then, because I really thought Inni was going to come in here, you know, guns blazing.
Well, they are certainly blazing guns, because that TR Max from Inni just took out about 3 Jesters. But here they come in and they take back Frostfall Overlook yet again. Inni losing every single one of their spawn beacons apart from 1, which will go down right now. It's literally just went down as I said that. And the Jesters just cleaning up a house in the capture point room with their maxes, and they've secured the base yet again. Now, Inni, what are you gonna do? Jesters have air control?
Exactly. I was about to say, if you were going to tick off what needs to be done, I mean, Jesters have been doing it. It's almost like they've been doing this on purpose. It almost seems purposeful, like their movements, their reactions, their counterattacks. It's a really good show from Jesters.
Yep. And it seems that Inni has decided to pull a nice mix of air and also lots of lightnings, actually. Would you believe it? And I'm not talking Skyguards here. I'm talking like a mix of actual lightnings with what I guess could be the Vipers, some Skyguards, of course. But they're bringing in 4 Mossies now and 2 or 3 Skyguards to, I guess, wrestle the skies back from the Jesters, and of course take care of any Sunderers or enemy lightnings that might come their way.
Yeah, and that's really, like I think you said earlier, that's the beautiful thing about this lane, is that it's so wide open that air is very powerful, but air doesn't have a lot of room to hide. It's not like in Indar and Howling Pass where you could hide behind mountains. Like here, you're pretty much exposed, so you have to be very smart with your positioning.
Well, right now, I'm actually a little intrigued that most of the actual combat is taking place on the road, because I honestly thought that this outfit would completely eschew the road. Because, I mean, we all know, I mean, you don't like open space, and there's nothing more open than the road on this lane. So, I'm actually a little weirded out that none of these lightnings are actually heading into the western hills. The eastern hills may be a bit too far away to actually help with taking the base, but the western hills, definitely wonderful to bring some lightnings through and get them close to Frostfall.
Yeah, I was wondering that too. It just could be a simple matter of inexperience. I mean, we spent, what, the last five weeks on Indar.
True.
So everybody's point of reference for, you know, learning from other outfits has been just on Indar.
Very true. And with that, we got the 25 minutes left. And I think this is gonna give both outfits a little push here, because they just noticed, wow, we're pretty much halfway through this first half and we don't have any points yet, so we gotta do something. And I think the Jesters are doing something, because they're bringing in this Reaver to geological survey, and the guy did actually jump out, so I fear that he's probably an infiltrator again, and he's gonna drop some people on this point.
And actually, I think Jesters were either they're watching the stream or they were reading your mind, because they're actually pulling a lot of Sunderers and Skyguards off roads.
Yep, they are. I see it.
Lead to the west here.
Well, luckily we have a 2-minute delay in the stream, so they can't really read my mind just that well. But yeah, they're bringing a lot of Sunderers here through the western mountains, which, I mean, is a really good setup. If you have a Sundra there, you can immediately redeploy up on the hill, pull out anti-vehicle, what have you, and just destroy anything that Inni is throwing at you. Got a little lightning battle going on here.
Right, I think something interesting to note about all these bases too is that none of these have the garages that are typical of other bases on Esamir or Marich, that every Sunder is really exposed.
It's actually kind of nice too that pretty much all of these bases, or most of the bases, lack the very, very high walls too. I mean, they do have walls, but they're not as crazy as some of the bases on Esamir. But it seems that Inni has found Jester's Sunderers, and they're moving in a Skyguard, but the Inni player jumped out. He's obviously going to C4 that Sundra, is he? No, actually didn't manage to do it, but Inni is going to bring in their Lightnings right now, and they're going to take care of those two Sundies.
Yeah, they have a very, very heavy presence on the road here.
Oh yeah, they've got 5 Sunderers, don't they? I don't see much of their air presence right now, though. I see a Galaxy hovering very, very high, as well as 2 Mosquitoes. But apart from that, not much air presence at all right now from both outfits. And those 2 Jester Sunderers are not going to live through this. Number 1 goes down, and number 2 is going to go down momentarily. On the other hand, Inni did lose a lot of their Lightnings there. I think 3 of their Lightnings actually went down to Jester Heavies with lock-on rocket launchers. And the Jester's actually bringing in a second Sundra in the exact same spot as the one that's currently being shelled. But while all of this is happening... sorry to interrupt you there, but while this is happening, Inni sneakingly brings a Sundra to the west of Frostfall, and is going to drive it all the way around to the south.
Yeah, you pointed out exactly what I was about to say.
I'm sorry about that.
No, it's fine. We're on the same wavelength. It's all good.
So Inni right now, they've got a spawn point to the north. They've got one Sundra that's quite far away, and it is actually going to head into the eastern hills there. Probably gonna spawn again, so they can have some long-range cover. Yep, it's gonna deploy. And so, yep, and there's the Sundra on the exact same building where they had that U formation earlier. So they've got a spawn point to the north, got a spawn point to the south, and they're sending someone in to take this point. But it seems he can't actually flip it. Because I take it Geological Survey is actually flipped. Yup, Geological Survey actually flipped by the Jesters.
Yep, there's that one squad leader infiltrator on the point again. He's been there all game pretty much.
I haven't seen a single push from the Jesters across their lane yet. The only time they were ever across the half of their lane was during the big air battle in the beginning. And apart from that, all they've done so far is send the single infiltrator to cap Geological Survey and keep Frostfall clean. They're literally playing down the clock right now.
Right, and I was actually going to say, do you think they're doing that on purpose? Like, do you think there's an advantage to pushing south instead of north? Like, do you think they might go all out offensive on the second half?
I honestly, that's the only thing I can see. I think what they're also trying, because this is something, I mean, we all know that Inni is a heavily organized outfit. I mean, they are rigorous in their organization. They are rigorous in how they train for this. So what they're actually meeting right now is an enemy who's completely content with keeping them in their half. And for Inni, this is something like you don't expect that. Like, you obviously expect that the enemy wants your capture points as much as you want theirs. But having the enemy play an entire half of defense must really throw Inni's tacticians for a loop here.
And not to say it's probably very frustrating.
Oh, definitely. Because, I mean, the whole time you're kind of thinking, well, you know, I mean, they're going to throw half of their forces at offense. We're going to throw our forces. If we time it right, we can take the base before they take ours. But Jesters is just saying, no, we're playing defense. Like, we're in the air and we're playing defense. And they're capturing the point back yet again 15 seconds after Inni managed to cap it.
The enemy has taken a control console.
Yeah, there's actually the Jester at Geological Survey is dead, so there's no more Jesters there.
Yeah, and at the same time, the Jesters, while Inni was capturing the point, the Jesters have again managed to take down all of Inni's spawn points at Frostfall Overlook. Inni tried at one time with 5 Sunderers around the base, and they still didn't manage to get a foothold. They have managed to hack the vehicle terminal now, where they are pulling Sunderers, but again, that's a single Sunderer right now, and they've already lost a lot trying to take this base.
And to be honest, that's one of the most difficult things as a platoon leader, is that you have to balance your forces at all times. I mean, we saw right now what there was like a 2-minute window where Inni's air lost control, and then Jesters came in and smashed all those Sunderers.
Yep. But now at the same time, talking about Inni's air, they have brought in a lot of mosquitoes. They've got 5 mosquitoes, they've got a Liberator up in the air, they've got lightnings roaming around the base. I really, really like those lightnings, by the way. Like, I really enjoy seeing those Inni lightnings. They're just roaming around the base, you know, spotting anything, trying to pick off any Jesters, trying to take some heat on themselves. And Jesters are doing it, they're hunting them. Like, we've got 2 heavies right now trying to hunt this one lightning down. And those are 2 heavies out of the fight for the capture point. The lightnings are just kind of driving around. 3 heavies now.
Yeah, I mean, that's pain in itself. I mean, that's 3 people not on point fighting for the point.
And at the same time, Inni making very, very fantastic use of using a Gal to spawn Alpha Squad. The Galaxy always flying a little circle, coming close to the capture point, people spawn on it and bam, they jump out. And Inni's capturing the point yet again. But we all know how that turned out the few last times, so let's see if they can actually hold it for the full 4 minutes now.
Yeah, Inni are trying something which I think they should have done at the start. They're actually moving to the double stack, so hopefully it allows them more time on point, so we'll see what happens.
And with that,
I mean, that double stack really is the key.
It's definitely the key. And I mean, Inni knows it. I mean, that's where they've been putting their spawn beacons. They have been putting their people there. One thing that I'm a little weirded out by is how they are very, very adamant about having their infantry all grouped up next to that anti-vehicle terminal turret. Which, I mean, you do have that wall, but I mean, that's not a lot of cover there, and you don't really have the best angles. Like, you can actually get shot from like both of the spawn rooms there. So I'm not quite sure why they're setting up especially there, but right now they've got a wonderful defense line going on, and the Jesters can't actually get at them, so if they can keep this up for another 3 minutes. On the other hand, the Jesters have spotted the Inni Sundra to the south now, though, and I feel that they're going to bring in 1 or 2 lightnings to take it out.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm looking at Inni right now. They have some pretty good spots. They're picking the right corners. So even if guys die, they could have rotations and cover that. But there's a big push from Jesters now for the double stack.
Oh yeah, they're really pushing in here. Yeah, that's a lot of medics there. Got some guys, but Inni holding those very, very important stairs. Oh, and they're catching the medics with the med guns in hand. Medic gonna shoot him. Nope, actually gets knifed. Inni incredibly strong in close combat. Oh, and here comes a revive grenade bringing 4 Jesters up, but they're right in front of a Max, and the Inni Max just mows them down. It just mows them down. Oh, it gets stuck with C4, blows it up. No, Max still lives. Oh, gets shot by the rocket. Wonderful play from that Jester Heavy. You are a hero. Who are you? Come here. What's your name? You are NC number 5. NC number 5. You get a wonderful mention on the stream. But, I mean, that was a good play, and they did manage to take the building from Inni, but They still got to take that capture point, and Inni actually has 5 people in that capture room. But Jester's doing a really big push now on the room. Let's go in there.
Yeah, and the Inni Sunder is out too. The Jesters just took it out.
Yep. So Jester's now with 2 maxes outside, multiple infantry. They're all going to converge on this capture point. Yeah, and there's 1 heavy from Inni left. It gets taken down, and the Jesters have secured Frostfall Overlook yet again. Yet again, there was 2 minutes that Inni managed to keep the point. And we're not talking about some random outfit right here. Like, we're talking about Inni Elite, and these guys are fierce in infantry combat. But right now it seems that they're just kind of distracted. They can't really bring their full crushing force on the ground to bear. What do you think is throwing them up here? Is it really this just defensive play from Jesters?
I think a lot of it has to do with not losing the air pressure. Like they pull those air, they pull the mosquitoes like you saw, then they fight the air. But as soon as they actually get settled on the point, they lose air control, so they're not able to suppress the spawn. So Jesters are able to run up like that open territory between the spawn, the double stack, and the point should be suppressed to hell and back. There should be no way Jesters should be able to even peek out of those out of the shields. But Jesters aren't only able to do that, but they're able to actually attack and be aggressive and just run across without having to worry about getting shelled or anything. So it's you can't rely 100% on just one effect. It's a combined arms game, and Inni's kind of like losing that a little bit.
I wonder where that comes from, though, because we've seen really strong combined arms play, especially with Air Force. Do you think it's really just that the Jester pilots are just putting an immense pressure on Inni right now? I mean, they did show Inni did actually manage to wrestle air superiority from Red October in the last match they played, and I mean we all know that Red October's pilots are also very strong. So it's actually interesting to see that they seem to have a very hard time with the Jester's air right now.
Yeah, I mean, I read the description from Jesters, and you know those guys are really living up to their name of ace pilots. They're really doing they're showing a lot of effort and a lot of pressure on any elite.
So right now the Jester's bringing in a single Sundra to Geological Survey Camp, but that was taken out very quickly by Inni's Mossy hunting squad here. Inni Elite again liking pulling those lightnings, but here come the Jesters bringing in their own air. And we've got a little air fight going on. 3 Reavers. 3 Reavers. Gonna take down 1 Mossy, or is the Reaver gonna die first? Oh, he gets taken out by Coyotes. And it seems the Reavers are actually not faring all that well. Oh, the Reaver crashes into the Mossy, but survives and then gets taken out by another Mossy crashing into him. This is Crash Side 2. Now, Geological Survey seems to be completely clear right now. Alpha squad of Inni pulling multiple Sunderers, as they have to do, because we all saw how many Sunderers they lose against the very strong defense of Jesters. And just as I say that, facility defended, Frostfall Overlook. We're still at 0-0 with 12.5 minutes to play in this first half. And I think we're going to see a clash of the Sunderers in the middle of the road, because Jesters are just pulling multiple Sunderers themselves, and here comes Inni with 4 Sunderers and a Lightning.
Oh, this is going to be good.
Of course the Jesters see it, immediately heading for the hills. Run for the hills, they say. Inni is coming. Yep, and their one Sundra, they actually used one of the Sunderers as a distraction, while the other one is just rushing northwest. But there is an Inni Lightning and a Mosquito, and the Mosquitoes have spotted the Sundra.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm looking at this what, 4 or 5 Sundra pull from Inni Elite, and to be honest, it smells of desperation to me.
Yeah, they've got one Sundra. I mean, they're doing it well, though. They've got one Sundra already deployed. It's like the back Sundra. I mean, they could have deployed it behind the rock, but they might be turning it again. And it seems they're doing the U-shape on the southern building again. No, they're actually putting 2 Sundras together, and the third one is... I think the third one is actually going to move all the way around. Or no, they're going to hide it down there. Of course, Jesters know about this. I mean, Inni has done this before, so the Jesters know what to do. Where are most of the Jester forces right now, by the way? Because I can't see any infantry really here. I see like 2 infantry on Frostfall Overlook.
Yeah, actually, there's about... Most of them are at Geological Survey, and they have a Sundra to the southeast of Geological Survey that's kind of wrap around the base. There's at least 7 Jesters at Geological Survey right now.
Yeah, they don't have the point, though, but they're on the bridge, it seems. Oh, and
Yep,
they've
there's
hacked
only
the
two-
terminal. They've hacked the terminal, and they're pulling. They've pulled 3 Sunderers. The Jesters now 3 Sunderers at Geological Survey Camp. But of course, if Inni manages to, or 4 Sunderers that is, if Inni manages to capture Frostfall Overlook's point first, that's not going to help the Jesters. They won't be able to capture it.
And just as we say that, I was about to say it's a race against time, and Inni wins that race.
Inni wins that race. They're trying to defend the point now, though, but the Jesters, they don't really have any infantry here at this base right now. And yep, Inni has an entire squad and multiple Sunderers here to spawn, but it's... Oh, the Jester's doing a big push, though. I bet that's their 2nd squad or something. I bet that's their 2nd squad. They're going to do a nice big push into this room, trying to take it back, because they can't let those forces at Geological Survey Camp die for nothing.
And really, I mean, if I'm Inni, this is where I pull air. This is where I get 4 or 5 guys up in the sky to make sure that we have complete and utter domination.
But instead, Inni actually coming with those lightnings. Bringing in the lightnings, bringing in the pain. How are those Sunderers from the Jesters doing at Geological Survey Camp? Are they actually still up?
Yeah, they have 3 Sunderers up.
So they still have them up, but they're not actually doing anything because Frostfall Overlook is in the hands of the enemies. So the Jesters now bringing in Maxes here. So I feel that we're going to have a nice push of the Jesters, but the Max is splitting up for some reason. I'm not quite sure the Jesters are... Oh no. Bringing in the Maxes into the double story. Going for this... I think there was a lone TR Max here, but he probably ran away. Yeah. So they're clearing the double story yet again, while keeping pressure up on that capture point. And Inni has most of their forces on the capture point right now. So once the Jesters actually swing from the double story over here, they might actually be able to retake this, because they have a lot of Maxes.
Yeah, and Jesters are really gambling here. They're basically, it's one of those things where, like, how many forces do you commit to defense to resecure? And so they still have about 4 or 5 people at Geological Survey, maybe hoping that they could do what they can with the numbers that they have at Frostfall.
Inni, by the way, now managed to actually take back the double-story building, and they've got a lightning set up to the west that's actually shelling all of the Jesters coming from the spawn room. Yeah, the Jesters, they're just kind of trickling into the capture point right now, and Inni really, really wants this. They want this base. They know there's only like 8 minutes to play, and they've got 2 minutes left to capture this. So if the Jesters actually manage to defend this again, there might not be enough time to actually flip this base. And I feel the Jesters are now... Yeah, they're gearing up. They're gearing up a nice big force. They know they only have 2 minutes to push this. They're pulling the Maxes. It seems they're pulling lots of heavies and medics. But Inni is not letting them have it.
No, this is actually the most solid push that we've had from Inni, because they're basically suppressing the spawns, and that's the benefit of having the double stack and having air presence.
I fear that one of Inni's pilots just crashed, by the way, because the Liberator is just going to hover in the air.
That already showing off.
Yeah. Okay, and here we come with a big push from the Jesters. They're pushing over 2 sides, actually. Most of them going into the double story, which I like. That's a good approach.
Woo, 1 minute to go. This could be it.
Yeah, here they come, though. Here come lots and lots of Maxes. 4 Maxes of the Jesters. They need to get in that capture point, but Inni is not letting them. Inni's not letting them at all. We've got an Inni infiltrator right here. Jesters bringing their dead back up, but they're not going in the point, you guys. You've got 40 seconds. You got to go in. And here they go. Here comes the big, big push. And they're charging. Oh no, just 1 Max charged in. The other Maxes are going another way. What is happening at this capture point? Are they even going to make it in? Are they going to make it in?
No, for the most part, Jesters were wiped out.
No, they're wiped out. 25 seconds remaining. I fear the Jesters are not actually going to be able to get back in here. Inni's got air superiority right now. Everyone who comes out of that spawn room gets bombed. The Jesters now in a desperate trickle attack from the spawn rooms, running directly for the capture points, throwing res grenades, anti-vehicle grenades, everything. Probably some flashbangs too. Heavies run in there, but the Maxes take them out. And with 1 second, and Inni takes the point 2-0 with 5 minutes remaining in the match. So what that actually means is that the Jesters, if they want to get out of this with, you know, like with the same points, they only have 1 minute to capture Frostfall Overlook yet again, because it takes 4 minutes to capture the base. But sadly, Inni very strong at leapfrogging. They immediately dropped people from the galaxy on the point at Ymir Eastern Way Station. And they've captured that point too. It does take them 4 minutes, so if Inni loses this point, at any time they won't be able to take it in time. And it seems the Jesters are playing some good defense here. They're out on the point, but Inni is outnumbering them. Seems that Jesters not quick enough on respawning. They're bringing in a lot of infantry now, though.
Yeah, and a curious thing too, we never really saw a concerted effort from Jesters to attack, and in the second half they have no choice if they want to advance.
They need to attack, yes. I really feel that that's what they're going to do. I feel that in the second half they're going to go for all-out attack. They did just manage to retake the point, though. Inni actually got kicked out of this base. They have 4 minutes 50 remaining at this point in time. So that does mean that if the Jesters manage to hold this base for another minute, Inni will not be able to capture it before the match is over. Which means that right now, in 30 seconds, we are actually looking at a 2-0 for Inni, which, honestly, is not the result that many people thought would happen.
No, I have to admit, I'm one of them.
And with that, Inni flying around. I think they know. They're not really mounting the biggest offensive. They've got a lot of air right now, a lot of air, and they're not really. They're bringing in one Sundra along the road, but I think they know that it's just not really happening right now with the time that's left over. So I feel that.
Right. You just want to save resources, basically.
Yeah, basically. I mean, there is an air battle going on. I mean, the Jesters, of course, still have some Reavers up, and he is taking care of that because they just have like too many mosquitoes right now. Are losing some people too, though.
And speaking of saving resources, for some reason, Jesters just pulled 3 Sunders to attack Crossfall.
Which, of course, well, I mean, they don't see the time like we do. That's the thing. If they don't have their own timer running with, they don't actually know how much time is left. Who's that typing? Please stop typing. That is very loud. Oh, and Inni did actually, by the way, manage to flip the point again on Ymir Eastern Way Station, but it is already neutral, so this is not and 2 people share a kill, and this is not able to be captured in time. So with this, we are pretty much already through the first half. We've got 3 minutes left. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, and you have about 6 guys here at Ymir Eastern Way Station. So they're looking pretty set. I mean,
yep.
There's no way that Jesters are going to be able to get points in this half.
Well, the Jesters have a dual Fury Sunderers at point A on Frostfall Overlook. Inni, of course, knows that they've got some lightning tanks and everything, and they can't actually flip the point because, like you said, Geological Survey Camp is actually being taken by Inni right now. But again, I mean, whether they have it or whether the Jesters take Frostfall right now, they are not able to capture it in time.
Yeah, those guys at Frostfall are basically, sitting there with the thumbs up there. You know what?
Yeah.
Not doing much of anything.
Now, I think actually, by the way, that in the second season of Community Clash, that the rules are actually going to be altered in such a way that while a base is contested, it cannot actually we can't actually end the halftime. Have you heard some mumblings like that? Because I heard some mumblings like that. Apparently people are thinking about it, which I mean, it does mean that there are going to be some, like some last second saves pretty much, which I like. I think that's some good gameplay we further with that.
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, in sports, no matter what, once the whistle blows, it's over. In soccer, whether the ball's in midair or you have a penalty, a shot,
well, in soccer, but remember basketball. In basketball, as long as the ball's in the air, it can still go in.
Ah, shoot.
Now we've got Jesters fighting at Ymir Way Station right here. Fighting the good fight. Inni still have some people in there, but you can tell they're not really committing to the fight right now. And Jesters has taken the point right back. And with that, we get the 1 minute left in the round message, which means that both outfits know that no matter what happens here, the base is not being taken. But they're not stopping. I mean, they're not stopping, you know. They want to take out the enemy, maybe kill the max, you know, take care of those infantry resources. Because if our viewers don't know, the resources are not actually reset to full between the half. You have the resources that you end with at the end of the first half, and that's what you go with into the second half.
Yeah, it's one of those things too. I mean, these guys are all incredibly competitive. They're not going to stop until it's over.
And with that, we are nearing the 10-second marker. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And with that, the round is over. And Ini Elite with a surprising 2 points to 0 against the very, very crazy, very defensive Jesters. That was a wonderful first half.
Yeah, it was very exciting. And not at all what I expected, but it was a good show from both outfits.
Yep. Really, really good show, I must say. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this first half. We are going to flip the hexes. So that's going to take between 10 to 20 minutes. And while we do that, we're going to go into a little halftime. The teams are going to switch sides. We're going to switch the hexes around. And we hope to see you in the second half. My name's Klyka, and with me is Kid Riot. Thank you for joining me. See you guys in the second half. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, we are back. Back at the Clash, and in 30 seconds we're going to start this match. And from now on it is Ini on Ymir Biolab, and we've got the Jesters all the way over there on Not Amp Station. And with me again is Kid Riot.
Once again, and happy to be here.
So Kid, what do you think that we're going to see in this in the second half?
I'm looking for all-out offensive from both sides. I don't think Ini is one to sit on the laurels and let Jesters dictate the match. I foresee them being just as aggressive as in the second half as they were in the first half.
So you think they're just going to go full out? And here we go. Well, we're going to see it ourselves. Ini actually sending some of their guys from the Biolab jump pad directly to Ymir Eastern Way Station. And I think they're going to pull Sunderers there. Yep, they're going to pull Sunderers, but yeah, it seems that the terminal isn't actually up. So what are the Jesters up to?
The very first air pull for the Jesters was, well, actually the Galaxy took off. And so the Galaxy's ahead of all of the other Reavers, which could be good, could be bad, because it's super exposed. So if Ini's able to get their mosquitoes there, they could deny the Galaxy.
Well, Ini is flying their Galaxy extremely low, but the entire rest of their air is just very, very high up. I see one Liberator and lots of mosquitoes. And here the air battle already starts. The Jesters, Reavers are attacking, and we're going to see who comes out on top of this one.
Looking at the map, so Jesters basically had 2 squad leaders and an extra person in that Galaxy. Pretty smart, so they could drop beacons and redeploy if they need to.
Ini, by the way, pulling 3 lightnings who are coming down the road. I wonder if those are Skyguard lightnings. No, actually. Don't seem to be full-on Skyguards. Now, Ini, still a lot of air up there. How's Jesters looking? Because I see a lot of mosquitoes exploding.
Yeah, it's all to the west. I see about seven Reavers to the west.
Oh yeah, those Reavers are going after those poor mosquitoes. Ini losing their air forces very, very quickly. I pretty much only see Jesters now. The Galaxy is going into close combat now too. The Liberator is under attack now. They're shooting lots and lots of air rockets at them. That Liberator is not going to survive very long. Nope. And one more. And down he goes. Yep. So Ini just lost like all their air forces.
Yes, sir.
But they've even landed one of their Liberators at Frostfall Overlook. And they're defending it.
Is that how the first half turned out with the air? Did Jesters dominate, or was it Ini that did?
It was actually Ini taking care of the Jesters' air, but they took heavy losses on it. So now the Ini Galaxy is heading over to the Geological Survey Camp, but it's getting, just bombarded, and they lost some people. They did manage to flip the point, though, but the Jesters have people on there, and they're flipping it right back, so we're in the same stalemate. that we've been in for almost 40 minutes of the first half. Jesters got air superiority. Ini moved in some lightnings on the road, taking care of a Jester Sundra there, losing their own lightnings to the air forces though. And here comes Ini with 3 Sunderers and a Skyguard. That single Skyguard not enough against all of those Reavers though, and Jesters also have their own lightning, Viper lightning it seems, on the road, sliding into that Ini Sundra. He's just
and all the Jester's forces, both ground, air, and infantry, are all pulled back to that geological survey hex.
Yeah,
there's nobody even close to Frostwall.
They're taking care of those Ini Sundras, because Ini is just like rushing into the base right now. I mean, they know that those Sundras are dead, but they still have to try and get them to their goal. Bringing in yet another Sundra. So I mean, they did make it to geological survey camp. But Jesters are heavily entrenched there. They've got the air support, they've got a Skyguard lightning taking care of that Sunday, and now some C4 on it too, yup, and down it goes. But, Ini did, sorry to say, Ini did manage to get someone close to the point, and it is getting captured. But, Jesters are taking it right back.
Yeah, I was going to say that there was kind of an odd air pull from Ini Elite, and that was 3 Liberators.
Now one of them just went down, but 2 more of them are up in the sky trying to take out those pesky Reavers, using Zephyrs, of course. Ini sending in yet another Sundra along the road, but the Jesters got their lightnings right there on the road, and they're just taking care of all the Sundays. I mean, again, they're just sending those tanks down the open road, you know, just like straight at the enemy lightnings and everything. Ini's just hammering on the anvil right now. Jesters pulling their own Sunderas, and then now 2 Sunderas and Lightnings are actually meeting on the road here between Frostfall Overlook and Geological Survey Camp. It seems that Ini's vehicles are actually in better shape though. But Jesters bringing in yet a 3rd Sundra, that smoking Ini Sundra just rushing past them towards Geological, but a 4th Sundra of Jesters, a 4th Sundra. We see a lot of Sundra play in this. Have you seen these many Sundras being used in a community clash match yet?
No, not at all. But I think it mostly has to do with the lane configuration than anything else too.
Yeah. Like this lane really favors the man who's bold with his Sundras. But I mean, we did see Ini, you know, we saw them pull many Sundras, and at one time they had, you know, 4 or 5, 3 Sundras deployed at the base, and they still couldn't keep them all up. It is so hard to keep your Sundra alive on this very open lane.
Yeah, I mean, 1, they're super exposed. 2, you really need to be able to put pressure on the enemy, like on the spawns at the same time. It's actually it's a very wide open lane, but it's very difficult because you have to have, you know, all your ducks in a row basically.
Yep. So I am a little surprised actually. I mean, the Jesters just drove a Sundra straight into Frostfall Overlook. They've got another one in, and they've actually got people on the point. So the Jesters now capturing Frostfall Overlook. For our viewers right here, if you didn't catch the first half, in the first half the Jesters have actually not moved across their own lane with any forces except a single infiltrator at multiple times. This is actually the first time that they're putting an actual attack force onto a base.
Yeah, and they're actually in a pretty decent situation. I mean, they still have 3 viewers up, which at this point in time is enough.
Yeah, but Ini capturing that base straight back. Jesters do have another Sundra, but it is getting pounded by 2 Liberators, a Skyguard, and what have you. People jumping out of it, Ro. I wonder if they're getting... Yep, they're actually just dropping an entire squad. They're not even deploying. They just dropped like multiple people straight out of that Sundra, retaking the point yet again. And they're holding the point. They've got 6 people in this capture point. Ini doesn't really have a big amount of infantry here. They're safe from the Liberators. Ini moving in with like 2 infantry right now.
Right, but even though Jesters do have superior numbers on point, they're in a very, very vulnerable position. Because that room is easy to conk. You get 1 or 2 conks and the whole room is conked, and then you can move in and kill everybody. True. So they're in a very, very fragile position here.
It would actually be great sometime. We actually saw a flashbang just now. And a conk grenade. Flashbang, conk grenade, Inni moving in, showing us those infantry tactics. And they cleared the room. And
yeah, it doesn't take much.
Very nice play there of Inni, but oh, here comes actually revive grenade for the Jesters, bringing up a single heavy in the corner, that poor man. But the Jesters did actually manage to take this base down by half from the TR, so like 30 seconds almost. That was the first actual push they did when it comes to attacking a base. Now, do you see much air from the Jesters? Because I mostly see Innis over Frostfall right now. I see 2 Reavers, but they can't really get close to the Inni air because Inni just has too many.
Yeah, and actually, as you were saying that one of the Reavers went down, they actually have 2 Reavers over Geological, but it looks like they're playing, more cap.
And another Reaver is going to go down. And another Reaver goes down to the combined assault of 3 Mossies there. Now the Jesters, of course, we know they can play defensively. They've done that very, very well in the first halftime. They've done one good attack just now, where they did manage to capture the point, but they didn't follow it up properly. But then again, it is really hard doing that when you have, like 2 Liberators and some more air hovering above you, getting those Sundies in. And Inni, of course, always having 1 or 2 Lightnings on the road. Very, very good play there. But it seems Inni is doing a big push for Geological Survey right now. And they're capturing the point. Got multiple people in the base. Jesters kinda defending the vehicle terminal right now, instead of the actual point.
The control console is in TR hands.
And as my NC announcer friend just said, the TR have just taken the control console.
Yeah, and actually, I really like what I'm seeing from Inni Elite here, because they're taking advantage of the air domination, and all those Thunders are going to be pretty much taken out very rapidly.
But do you see what's happening right now? We've got actually 3 Reavers hunting Mossies that are not actually helping with the fight. While 1 Liberator is trying to hunt the Reavers, while the other Inni forces are actually killing Jesters on the ground. Now the Jesters have managed to recapture the point with multiple people, but Inni, of course, still fighting on, and this 1 medic, with the help of like 2 other friends, just actually took down all of the Jester guys defending the point, and they're taking it straight back. But it seems that the Jesters have resecured air superiority about the base, because the 2 Liberators from Inni actually pulled back all the way to Frostfall, so...
Yeah, and Jesters actually have 2 Sunders and a Reaver, and they have... I think it's the same infiltrator from before the first half. He's posturing at Frostfall, maybe waiting for a beacon or support.
Yeah. Then again, we have never actually seen him put down a beacon. But at the same time, Inni is doing wonderfully at Geological Survey Camp. They are about 30 seconds into the capture. They've got half of Alpha Squad here. They have, it seems, 2 Sunders set up. Yeah, they have 2 Sunders up. They did manage to capture the, to hack the vehicle terminal, which was just actually blown up by the Jesters, who now have to try and take care of these Sunders. Now there is a Jester Sunder right next to the Inni one, but Inni did actually have drivers in. So Inni again putting up a repair Sunder directly underneath the bridge on the southern edge of Geological Survey Camp, which is actually a pretty good point.
Yeah, the Jesters actually spread really thin here at Geological. I mean, they're doing a like 4 or 5 man counterattack on point, but I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Well, right now the Jesters forces on the point are a little spread thin. They only have about 4 people together in the northern side. Jesters now actually managing to turn the make the point flip. No, Inni seems to have managed to stop them.
Yeah, but then again, Inni have 3 Jester Reavers, just spamming rocket pods on them.
Yeah, they are,
that's
but
never a good time.
Well, they are, but it doesn't seem like they're actually taking out that many people, because most of the Inni forces are actually really good at taking cover. It seems that Inni still has their Sunders up underneath that bridge. Yeah, they're still spawning there. Well, they lost 1 Sunder, it seems, but they still have the other one up.
And then, like, once again, I mean, it's necessary. Like, you have to gamble, right? Like, say you dedicate all people to defend, and that means you'll have no offensive pressure. So with that in mind, Jesters do have a couple people at Frostfall.
Yep.
So I mean, it's just one of those gambles that has to pay off, right? You have to be able to put enough pressure, take out the attackers, and then push forward.
Well, right now we're actually seeing a really nice infantry fight here on Geological Survey Camp. So I feel that the few attackers that they have at Frostfall who are in position, I feel that they're kind of being, you know, they're letting them sit there, kind of a little. Because they're not actually doing a combined effort to take back the actual pointed Geological Survey Camp, which INI is holding very well, but they're doing it with only about half a squad, or like barely a squad. While the Jesters don't really seem to mount the same kind of infantry offense they showed us in the first half. They are sending some people in, also one of the Maxes, but it doesn't seem like it's really all that well thought out or put together, really.
Yeah, and just as you said that, actually, Jesters have committed everybody but one person to defensive geological survey.
Yep. They did just pull a large amount of infantry out of nowhere, but they're still nowhere near to that point, and it's still 1 minute and 50 to go for INI, though. Now, at the same time, INI has this wonderful Sundra still set up there, and that's a really hard to reach Sundra. Like, you can barely hit it with rocket pods. I don't think you can actually hit it with rocket pods unless you get into a very specific way. But the Jesters, crazy as they are, they love to pull those Sundras. They just pull a Sundra, a Dual Fury Sundra, park it right there, and then start shooting the INI Sundra. And now they're C4ing it, INI Sundra burning. Just like one more hit or something. Here comes a medic, throws C4, runs right in, gets taken down. Gets taken down. INI Sundra's still up. At the same time,
yeah, actually, I've been looking for it, and that's a brilliant position for the Sunder.
Yeah, it's the best position I've seen so far on this base, honestly. But at the same time, INI did seem to have to commit a lot of defense to that Sundra because they did lose the point, and the Jesters are swarming all over it, trying to eradicate all of the INI spawn beacons they can see.
Yeah, and up to this point, I would say that the infantry battles have been pretty even. But like right now, I mean, it shows that, you know, the strength that INI has in their infantry. I mean, they're doing more with less, right? They're doing, like, their guys are taking out 2 or 3. It's really impressive to watch.
Definitely, yeah. But then again, I mean, the Jesters, it's not like they're selling themselves all that short, you know? I mean, once they get those nice combined pushes going, they do usually manage to push through INI. It's just that they can't seem to really hold the point all that well. They just managed in 15 minutes, no base has yet flipped properly. INI still has 1 minute 40 and they've retaken the point yet again. Because the Jesters, while being able to kick INI off of a point, they're not actually able to keep them off of the point.
Yeah, and I mean, maybe initially what Jesters may or should have done, I mean, in my opinion, was do a big push for that Sunder, forget the point, kill the Sunder, and then get the point. But now they have so little time that they can't really divert forces. They have to focus on taking that point back.
Oh. And here we see it again. Jesters doing a really nice push. Took down pretty much everybody next to the control point. They're not flipping it back though, because here comes INI, bringing in their own max. And once again, the Jesters managed to take the point, but where are the people to actually reinforce it? Where are the people to, you know, sit on the point and hold it? They're just kind of... They're running at the point right now, but they're not actually getting in the defensive positions. While INI is just using these big buildings here to the southwest and using the balconies and taking care of the Jesters there.
Yeah, and actually Jesters have been able to get some decent positions on the point. Like they're focusing on the building, they got people picking on the crystal rock formations.
Got a little max battle going on here in this alleyway. Yeah, and the NC Max wins, but barely alive. Hope it... Oh, actually gets taken out. Wow. Actually gets taken out by INI.
I think one thing to note, too, is that INI has fought on this point basically with pure infantry. Like, they haven't pulled any armor, they haven't pulled any air, it's been pure infantry.
They have lost their Sundra now, though. So that means they don't have a spawn point right now. They and just as I say that, they bring in 4 more Sundras. This is the battle of the ground hogs. Or whatever. Hogs, elephants, what would you call a Sundra? What is the animal that comes to mind in a Sundra?
I'd say rhino.
This is the rhino. Okay, this is the battle of the rhinos. in this battle right here. And Inni bringing in another 3 Sunderers after using another one. So there was 7 Sunderers. 7 Sunderers, maybe even 8 Sunderers. I think there's another one coming. And they're going for the same point again.
And this is really exciting to watch because, I mean, it's basically Inni's match to lose. They could have committed 24 to Frostfall, but they're like, no, screw that. We're going to fight because, you know, we're fighters. So they're pushing Geological Survey. When they really didn't have to.
At the same time, of course, Jesters is always putting them under pressure. There hasn't really been a single time where Inni is just free to roam, apart from maybe this one time now where Jesters had to commit quite a few infantry to retaking Geological Survey Camp. But they always have people up in the air. Right now it seems that Inni actually has more Mossies up, but they are losing their air forces quickly to what really must be the superior pilots of Jesters.
Oh yeah, there's these four Reavers and a couple Lightnings coming down the road. They're crossing the bridge right now. You know, something I was just thinking about. I wonder how much...
And with that, sadly, my PlanetSide 2 just crashed, but you go ahead and keep describing for us.
Okay, no, actually there's a pretty pitched battle over the bridge. Mixed units, actually pretty balanced units of Mosquitoes and Reavers. But it seems like Jesters, I don't know if they have practiced or not, but it could be one of those live server things where most live server outfits prefer to defend and attack. And it could be something they're just used to more than attacking. Because outside of the initial push that Jesters had on Frostfall, there hasn't been much in the way of attacks. I mean, they're solid on defense, and most of these outfits are, especially all these outfits that have reached the semifinals. But it's not about defense, especially when you're down 2 points. And just as we're saying that, I mean, Inni has been very aggressive in the air. They're actually pushing north past the bridge, past Geological Survey, being aggressive on the Reavers just spawning from Knot. Meanwhile, there's about 5 or 6 Jesters on Geological Survey, but Inni's still able to put pressure. It's actually it's pretty interesting because all the air from both sides is north of the bridge, and there's actually a lightning push from Jesters coming to Frostfall.
And I am actually back in the server now, so I can actually see that. So where exactly are we going? I see like quite a bit of air from Inni right now. They're all the way over at north. Inni has taken Geological Survey Camp. So what are the Jesters up to?
The Jesters actually have, I don't know why they did this, but they have 4 Lightnings pushing on Frostfall. I'm not exactly sure what's going on. Yeah, they're pulling back. They're like, oops, maybe a bad decision.
Maybe, and sadly they are getting hunted down by Inni's air here, who of course will take those Cert Pinatas on the way.
Yeah, the one time you want Skyguards, they don't pull Skyguards.
Yeah. I'm actually really surprised, but also like positively surprised by seeing a lot of normal Lightnings in this match. Because the normal Lightning is a wonderful tank. It's fast, it's agile, it's got good guns on it that you can choose. You know, it doesn't always have to be the Skyguard.
No, and I've always thought of Mass Skyguard pulls as acts of desperation anyway. Highly ineffective, basically praying that they'll work, but they never do.
Now I feel that Inni is getting a little cocky here because they have Geological Survey, and they're actually setting up like a line at the spawn rooms. They're very, very close to the spawn rooms. I guess trying or wanting to pick up Jesters whenever they come out of there, but the Jesters don't really seem to commit a lot of infantry to this battle right now, which means the capture point is really, really open. And if the Jesters just like drop someone out of a Reaver on there, they're actually going to take the point back. But are the Jesters mounting any kind of well, and just as I say that, the point gets flipped. Are they mounting any kind of air counter-offensive? Because right now Inni seems to be ruling the skies.
Yeah, there's about four people at Knot Station, and they're pulling Reavers. There should be a Geological Survey in about 20 seconds.
We've got 2 Skyguards coming in. We've got a Jester Sundra coming in. They're actually moving in a Sundra for a base where they have the spawn rooms because they want to spawn from a different way. I like that. They're bringing it in from the northwest. They're gonna park it right there under those crystals, or next to the crystals, are they? Yep, and they're gonna bring in people from there. Oh no, that's Inni actually. What am I saying? That's Inni. How did the Inni Sundra come all the way from there? I think they pulled them from like Not Amp. Yep, Inni now has a Sundra to the north.
Oh, I see, yeah. Just know where it's at too. They have a waypoint on it.
Yep.
Actually, at the risk of sounding stupid, I didn't realize you could actually run through these rocks here. I've never seen this before. I've been playing for a while. That's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah, well, to be fair, I have to say, you don't actually get to play on this base all that often, I noticed. Because usually on live server, this is one of those bases that is like a quick fight and then you move on. But of course, in the comp clash with, 24 versus 24, this is a whole different beast. Now we've got the Jesters driving around with lightnings again. They've got Skyguard set up and everything, and they are taking back the point yet again. They're just like, that's what the Jesters do. They just like send in those little trickle attacks and trying to get the point neutral again. They're not actually going on an actual offensive to take the point. I wonder why that is. I wonder if this is like if this is the thing they want to do, or if this is just an organic kind of play they're doing.
I would lean more towards organic, and I actually maybe lack of practice, to be honest. Because no matter how good you are, you still want to rotate as a team. You want to move as a team.
Very true.
I mean, there's very, very few outfits that can get away with what they're doing, but they can't.
And just as we say that, though, they are mounting a little infantry offensive here through the crystals, and they are gunning for the point, and I feel that Inni is actually going to get outgunned here.
Yeah, but just as you said, you have a lot of Inni Elite pushing out from those buildings. They're rotating to the point to get some pressure on Jesters.
Oh, they really are, but the point is flipped towards the NC right now. And Inni doesn't seem to have all that many people there, but... Well, they did... Yeah, they cleared off all the Jesters. Again, they do that so fast. Inni doing that so fast.
Oh, and Inni have numbers on point. They're spread out between the point and the bridge, so they have some pretty good crossfire set up.
They really do, and they still have that air superiority. Even though I see one Reaver, he just got taken down though.
Yeah, and Jesters actually did a pretty smart push. They have 6 people running across the bridge, which gives them good angles on the point. But Inni are right there waiting.
I love that bridge, honestly. Like the bridge is pretty much my favorite part of this base, I have to be honest. Because it's just like, it's like this big kind of kill corridor, but it has all this cover going on, and you can just kind of jump from cover to cover. There's lots of grenades being thrown. If you do manage to take the bridge, you have this wonderful, like higher ground that allows you to shoot directly at the point, giving you a flanking position. It's just great to take the bridge. So I'm glad the Jesters are actually doing that right now.
Yeah, it's definitely one of the, I don't want to say easier, but one of the wiser ways to attack A point.
And we've actually got an alert incoming in 2 minutes. So which outfit is going to win the alert? Put on your bets now at Community Clash.
I'm sure the VS will, actually.
So the Jesters brought in 2 lightnings actually into the base, but Inni's got their own lightning on the point right now, which I think is very, very smart play. They've got another lightning directly under the bridge. And I mean, those 2 lightnings, those are going to be just wreaking havoc on any Jester infantry trying to get close to the point.
and not only that, but it's a Viper lightning, pre-nerf.
Pre-nerf, very important.
Yeah, that lightning is paying off dividends. I mean, it's almost painful to watch what's happening right now. He's able to hold off one entire lane by himself. One entire corridor, I should say, to the point. So Jesters are once again forced to go to the bridge. But I'm pretty sure Inni knows exactly that, and they're rotating to the bridge.
They are, and they've obviously got a second lightning right down there, and all he has to do is, like shell the bridge a little bit. That lightning, by the way, doesn't actually seem to be a Viper lightning.
Oh, there's 2 of them.
Yep, there's 2 lightnings. Jesters have now comfortably taken the bridge, though. But it doesn't help them much. Yeah, and with that, Inni captures Geological Survey Camp, bringing the game with 18 minutes left on the clock to a 4-0 in the second half.
I would like to know exactly what Jester's doing, because to be honest, it's a little bit demoralizing, knowing that there's only so much time on the clock, and not only do they have to recapture this, but they have to capture the next base too.
Yeah.
And it's taken them how many minutes to even get pressure?
Yeah, they haven't really been putting up a lot of pressure. They are definitely, there's a lot of Jesters right now at Not Research Camp, and they seem to be, they pulled some maxes and everything. They seem to be going heavily to defend this. They're pretty much, I see like about 8 people or so, and they're all going into point A, and they're going to capture it. While I think they're still keeping the fight alive at Geological Survey, aren't they?
Actually, there's some Reavers attacking Geological Survey Hex, about 7 of them. And I was about to say that, yeah, you're down. Maybe it's not looking too good, but this is where your alpha can show true grit, true class. You know, you fight to the end. Like you never give up. You try your best.
And they sure are doing that because they are flipping the point at Geological Survey Camp yet again, because Inni was all like, well, we should move on to the next base, and they pulled all of their forces down from here, but Jesters ain't having that. Jesters dropping in an infiltrator with ejection seat from their Reaver. And here he is. Let's see if I can follow him. Yep. And here he is, and he's gonna put himself down right over here. He can't actually capture the point from there, though, I guess.
It's the same guy. He's been at these bases by himself almost both halves.
Yeah, he loves this base. I think this base is like his home ground or something. But now Inni has dropped a nice Alpha squad onto Not Research Camp, probably thinking, oh, we can take this, but they didn't think that the Jesters would put up 4 turrets, actually closing off the doors pretty well with that, and 2 Maxes to defend this base. Like, they know that they can't lose this one, and they don't want to lose this one. Because honestly, I think at this point, the Jesters are actually, like, they're prepared to lose the match, but they're not prepared to lose face, and they haven't. They haven't lost any face. If they can still pull this off at a 4-0 with like 16 minutes left, I mean, that's amazing. Like, no one had bet on them at all.
No, not at all. I mean, it's been a really good show. And speaking of good shows, there's at least almost a full squad of Jesters in the air.
Yeah, I see that.
So
they're all fighting over the biolab right now.
It could be they're looking to establish pressure on Geological Survey and get an offensive one.
I think they're trying to get Inni to focus a bit on the air right now. Because Inni is looking up. There's a lot of mosquitoes up there fighting against those Reavers. Inni lost their Liberator. Seems that Inni is winning the upper hand against the Reaver pilots, though. Yeah, Inni definitely has... oh, wait, 2 more Reavers just showed up, taking care of another mosquito.
I crashed.
Ah, you'll come back in, man. It happened to me now 2 times, sadly. Luckily, the stream didn't crash. It was literally just PlanetSide 2. But yeah, it seems that Inni losing a lot of mosquitoes while also making the Jesters pay a heavy price in the air. So let's see if something is happening at Geological Survey. Very, very few people. No Jesters, actually. So all of them are at not amp? Yes. They're all at not amp, and there's a big fight going on here. But the Jesters ain't letting them have point A. Inni trying to take point A at Geological Surveys, but the Jesters, they've got Maxes in here, they've got their infantry in here, and it seems that this squad is very content with just sitting on the capture point. And Inni doesn't really know what they should be doing here, because they thought they can just drop, you know, let's just drop Alpha Squad, we can take this point, and no, they couldn't. Because the Jesters are very, very entrenched right there.
Yeah, they have 2 lightnings, 2 infantry, and looks like a Liberator over Geological Survey.
Yeah, the Jesters have a single Liberator, but that is being taken down right now by 3 mosquitoes. Yep, and down it goes. At the same time, Inni is bringing in lightnings, 3 lightnings actually.
Yep, and they're going to run into the 2 Sunderers that the Jesters are getting from Not Research.
At the same time, Inni has yet again brought most of their Alpha Squad over to Not Research, though. And they're just sitting, they're just on top of the roof, while the Jesters are down in the room. Inni now slowly jumping down. They've got their spawn beacon here. And Inni, I think Inni is gonna be pretty hard pressed to get in here. They're trying it, they're pushing for it right now.
Oh, those turrets.
Oh, those turrets, yeah. That one turret right here. Oh, well, Inni did manage it, though. Took out like 2 Maxes, multiple enemies. That was a beautiful attack right there.
Yeah, and I think Jesters were hoping that wouldn't happen, because they've committed 2 Sunderers and multiple infantry to Geological Survey.
Yeah, and they did have this entire squad here. But again, just like you said earlier, Inni manages, you know, their players managed to take out 2 Jesters for one of their own. That's hard. That's hard to defend against that. And of course, one more thing, as always in this game, defense is actually not as easy as you might think, because there's a lot that the attacker can do. You can throw conks, you can throw flashbangs, you can, you know, throw normal grenades. If you're just sitting there in that room, a lot of things can kill you.
Yeah, well, we'll have to see what happens, because I know in prior matches or scrimmages on this, it's, you know, the team that has air, I mean, this base is very, very vulnerable to air, but we're not seeing that from any right now, so Jesters have a really good shot to take this back.
And
and Jesters have mostly committed. They've mostly committed to not research. There's only maybe like 1 or 2 people in the geological survey hex.
Oh yeah, they are pushing in now. Here come the NC Maxes, and we're seeing pretty much the exact same thing happen. Inni did set up turrets of their own. Jesters rushing in. Jesters rushing in, bringing those Maxes. The Max is not going in very close though. The turret's still up. Now it's down. Inni still has about 3 or 4 people, 5 people on this base. Jesters bringing up their dead. Inni bringing up their dead. But those 2 Maxes are just like Inni doesn't have an answer to that right now. They're too spread out. Yep, Jesters secured the base.
Yeah, it's basically a buffet for those Maxes, and they're eating all they can eat.
Oh, they are eating. They are surely eating. I do enjoy how we are actually seeing anti-infantry turrets, because I do like anti-infantry turrets. I think they're actually good, although I believe they could use a little bit of a buff in the close to medium range. But not you know, as a neutral caster, I'm not gonna say anything here. Wink, wink.
How neutral can you be? Come on.
I can be so neutral that I want to have everything. I want to have the best weapons, yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, but right now, Inni, they do have, I think, do they have a Sundra? Yes, they have a Sundra to the southeast of Not Research right now. They've mostly got Alpha Squad committed to these infantry pushes, so I take it that most of their vehicles and so on, their air is being done by like a Bravo, Charlie squad, something like that, but Alpha Squad is the infantry squad. So when those guys show up, then you know you're in for a hard fight, because I'm pretty sure they put like all of their best infantry players into that one squad.
Yeah, and just to note that actually Jesters went with 3 squads of almost, it's like 9, 8, and 7 respectively.
Yeah. I actually comprise the whole of Delta squad for Inni, so they do have 3 squads going on. They have Alpha squad, which is a heavy infantry squad, a Bravo squad, which seems mostly to be vehicles, and then Charlie, which is like a mix of it. But now here comes a big push from Inni on Not Research again, going up those stairs. And let's see what happens here. There's lots of C4 on the doors.
There's a big butt though. There's a big butt.
Yep.
Actually, Jesters have been able to capture geological survey.
Have they? That's
Yes, sir.
amazing. That's amazing. At the same, oh, and Inni, I think Inni knows this. Inni knows this because they're not rushing in. They just have Alpha Squad outside there, right around the corner. They're not pushing in because they know they can't take the base. So you know, why would you rush in if you can't take it? You might just lose all your guys. So they're just like kind of holding back, slightly pushing. Is the push? Here comes the push. Here comes the push. But the Jesters, the Jesters don't really have the defensive forces, I think. Taking down a few, taking down some Inni. Oh, but there comes a Reaver. A Reaver takes out most of the Inni forces with a nice rocket pod, and the Jesters actually hold back Inni's big push. Are they still taking a geological survey at this time?
Yes, they are. They actually have a Sunder south on the rocks, south of the bridge. But it looks like they're being thinned out because there were 4 on point, but now there's 2. You see, this is where having a better individual skill actually counts for a lot.
Yeah.
Because Inni doesn't have to, you know, rotate as many back to defend geological as maybe Jesters would have in the same situation.
Very true. And Inni now actually recapturing the point of geological survey. It doesn't seem like Jesters have the Sundra anymore. It was just blown up. They still have about 5 people in the base, I think. They are retaking the point, so Inni can't actually take Not Research yet. Are you still at Not Research, or are you at geological?
No, I'm at Not Research. I was actually, because they had 3 Sunderers here, and I was going to say, if Inni overcommitted to geological, they would have lost all their spawns.
Yeah, I bet. The Jesters actually did manage to take geological right now. There's a big fight going on here at the crystal. Inni bringing in their air support, of course. Big force multiplier here, because if all that Jesters has is a few infantry on the ground, if you set 2 Mossies with rocket pods here, what's the infantry gonna do? On the other hand, they're not gonna capture that point. And Inni seems to be sending a single lightning, a Viper lightning, which is gonna clear out the capture point, and 2 infantry to actually retake it. But the whole while, this base is being captured for the Jesters, while it seems that most of Inni are still at Not Research.
Well, they're going to have to decide very soon what they want to do, because there's only 2 minutes left on the cap.
Well, they've sent half of Alpha Squad over here to Geological Survey Camp now. They know they need to take this back in the next 2 minutes. I can't see a spawn point for the Jesters. Have you actually? Do you know?
Yeah,
they have a
it's the same center they had. It's south in the rocks. It's like a crystal formation south.
Oh, there it is. Yeah.
And, but Inni knows where they at. They actually had it in flames, but Jesters were able to repair it.
Yeah. And Inni did manage to retake the point from the Jesters now, so it is flipping back. But still, that was a great attack. I mean, there was perfect timing, a great defense from the Jesters on Not Research while taking this point here. Inni has to commit all of their forces pretty much to take this back, and I mean, it stopped Inni for a nice while. And with that, there are 7 minutes left in the game, and this pretty much means that it's going to be quite hard for Inni to take yet another base.
Yeah,
again,
definitely. Oh, go ahead.
No, just again. But no, again, Jesters actually, I mean, they are 4 points behind. They know they can't win the game in the time that's left, because they can't, it's not possible. But, you know, it's 4-0 against Inni, and you're holding them off, and you're fighting a really, really well fight. I mean, just keep doing what you're doing, Jesters. I like it.
Yeah, I was about to say, I mean, if anything, this is really what, at least in my opinion, Community Clash is about. You know, it's not so much who wins or loses, even though it kind of is. It's about the effort that you put in. You know what I mean? Like, they're showing a lot of class, a lot of grit here, and that's really, really impressive to see.
Yep.
And I'm actually having a good time watching it.
Yeah, they're not giving up. They're bringing in yet another Sundra. I think they really are trying to take this base. Like, they just at least, you know, like, at least let us take this one base. Give us these 2 points. Like, we don't want to lose with 0, and they are doing it yet again. Inni has a single infiltrator up there on the crystals, fighting against 2 Jesters right now. They see him, they take him down. Jesters take the point back. Now, if they can bring in a nice, like, some spawn, if they can bring in some Sundies...
Yeah, they're bringing in another one, just as you said that.
Yeah, and they're bringing in a lightning, too. I think they've seen what Inni was doing with those lightnings, and they brought in one of their own. Nice little Viper lightning there, but that lightning needs to get close to the point, because the point is being flipped, because... Inni just brings their infantry in there.
And there you go, 5 minutes left. Storm the front.
Storm the front indeed. Now is that a medic? Oh, I think he's gonna... No, he didn't. And the Jester sees the C4. Here comes another C4 though. No, not far enough. And he sees it and he blows it up. Sorry, Mr. Medic, but Mr. Lightning's not gonna die today.
Now, any elite does have the air advantage. They have 2 mosquitoes up, but those mosquitoes aren't actually attacking the Sunderer.
At the same time, Inni do have their own Sundra out on the road. It's heavily smoking though, but it's not doing much. Where is the Sundra for the Jesters?
Same location.
Same location again. Did they really? They really moved it the entire way from the north. They attack from the north and bring the Sundra all the way in the south. Well, it just goes down. I'm not sure if I really like this placement, because all of the air that your enemy brings, like, I mean, the enemy's home base is in the south. All of the air and whatever is gonna automatically come from the south, and then positioning your Sundra right there, not sure. And just one Sundra.
Yeah, no, the Sundra position Inni had when they were attacking was beautiful. The one on the bridge.
Yeah. But right now, Inni has all of their forces at Geological Survey. Like, they don't want to lose this base. There's no way.
We've won the control console.
Yeah, for a second there, I thought that Inni wasn't taking out the Sunder because they wanted to fight here. But them taking it out means they're taking it seriously.
Yeah, this wasn't just a distraction. This was a really nice push by the Jesters, and they managed to take the base down half, actually. But with that, we've got 3 minutes and 35 seconds left on the clock, which means that once this bar is completely filled, there's no way for the Jesters to take the base in time. They're still bringing in Sunderers, though. And
yes,
we always see. Have you noticed, by the way, that we've pretty much seen the evolution of the Sundra in Community Clash, where it went from dual basilisks because people just forgot that they can get whatever weapon they want, to every Sundra has 2 Furies. It's pretty much every Sundra has 2 Furies. It's like there's the odd one out somewhere, but the double Fury Sundra has become the de facto Community Clash Sundra at this point in time, I feel.
Yeah, and I think you're going to see it more on this lane, especially in Marish, where you can put a lot of pressure with those Sunderers. Especially in a Marish, where you can control the outside with those Furies. But it should be interesting to note that in a Marish you actually have, I believe, MBTs in the fights. So I think the Sunderer might go back to Basilisk, maybe. So we'll see what happens.
I wonder, really. Honestly, I always thought that most people would run their Sundra with a combination of anti-air, anti-ground. Oh, just as we're talking about really weird Sundra stuff, the Jesters with 2 minutes left are doing a huge infantry push on the point in Geological Survey. They want to go out with a bang. They've got all their Sundras, they've got 3 Skyguards up, and they're actually flipping the point with lots and lots of dudes. Now let's see, we know they can't take the base. Ini knows they can't take the base. This is a slap in the face with a little glove. This is the Jesters saying, come on, Ini, like, let's duel it out in the last 1.5 minutes of the match. Let's see if Ini takes them up on the challenge. Because I think they are, because I see Alpha Squad pouring out of that spawn room.
Yeah, it's beautiful to watch, man. Jesters fighting. It's like that poem, I will not go gently into that.
Oh, did you see that? There was a Jester Decimator just took out a Max and the man standing next to it in one shot. A beautiful double kill from all the way up on the crystals. It was wonderful.
Yeah, and Jester's actually taking a very aggressive stance here, which I like. Trying to get that spawn contain going. It's really fun to watch.
Yep. We've got a... Oh, I think someone just had a last... little friendly fire anti-vehicle grenade kill on his own Max there, but Jester's holding out still. Ini bringing up their guys with res grenades though. Oh, and this is a nice big fight. Now both outfits are just having fun. This is the last minute of the game. Both outfits are just going for an all-out brawl. And I do have to say, I think the Jesters can hold their head high here, because if they're holding this point all the way to the end of the match, you know, that's great. Like, that's just great. Oh, Ini going on the point, though? Are they gonna flip it before the match ends? No, I don't think so. Still half a minute left. Ini flipping the point. Come on, Jesters, you wanna end this match with a point in your hands, bringing up that res grenade, bringing all your infantry back up. Ini fighting them in close combat. 2 Terran Maxes. Oh, lots of Ini on the ground. They did manage to flip the point back. The Jesters have 15 seconds to flip the point.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Yeah, they don't have any spawn rooms anymore. They don't have anything anymore. And with that, we are already giving the game over. And we are at 0 seconds. Bam! And the match is over. The GGs are flying as the bullets were before them. And we have Ini Elite beating the Jesters with 4 points to 0 in what I must say was a fantastic game, and would you believe it or not, actually the closest game in the European Community Clash.
No, it was a well-fought match. I mean, obviously you didn't hear it, but I was clapping at the end there. It was really fun to watch. It
was wonderful, and I have to say, yet again, a lot of people are eating crow, because while Jesters may have lost to Ini, I've seen things being thrown around like, Ini's gonna steamroll them, the Jesters can be happy if they even have a base at the end. The Jesters played amazingly well. Little better in the first half, I think. Second half showed us some great stuff too, though. But in the end, wasn't enough against Ini Elite, who I feel weren't quite on the right foot today, but in the end, managed to turn it around.
Yeah, and the thing to note too is, you know, what are Jesters going to take back to the drawing board? What are they going to learn from this? You know, how are they going to improve? Because these are the matches that, you know, you take to heart and it makes you a lot better if you're willing to learn from it. So I'm really curious to see what's going to happen in Season 2 with these guys.
Yeah, definitely. I'm really looking forward to that. The Jesters have definitely shown that they are a competitive outfit, that they are an outfit that I like how someone in chat actually described it. The Jesters bring the chaos, because I think that was the first half was, and like we said, the Jesters just did things that just threw Inni for a loop. Like they just quite didn't. They were like why aren't they attacking our bases? What is happening? And the Jesters were just happy taking out all those Sunderers and defending their bases. Too bad that it didn't actually go through the entire half, because this could it could have might as well been a 0-0 for the first half.
Yeah, and you said it right. I mean, this match, if anything, if you had to define it in one word, it's definitely chaos. Because there were very, very few times that the stars aligned for Inni, and when they did align, they were able to capture bases. But Inni were hard pressed. You know, whether they want to admit it or not, they were very hard pressed.
Very much so. And with that, I would like Inni Furioses and Powerpufters from Jest, who are in this channel right now, please make your way to the interview area, where you guys are going to be interviewed by PoisonedAl yet again. Let me just say real quick that Furiosis from Inni, that was a great match. Congratulations on winning with a 4-0 against the Jesters. Fantastic match from you guys. It was wonderful to cast. Had a great time.
Thanks a lot.
And of course, Powerpufters. Sadly, the Jesters lost. You guys are out of the semifinals here in the Community Clash. But as I said during my cast, your guys can hold their head very, very high, because a 4-0 against Inni, I mean, we have to count it as a loss, but I think there's a little win in there. Don't you agree?
Oh man, I count this as like not a win, but man, I'm gobsmacked by how well we've done against an outfit like Inni, and well done to them.
Yeah, I must really say.
Oh, I can't log in, by the way. I've got a bug.
Oh, well, with that, I mean, we'll just show the wonderful visages of Mr. Furiosis and PoisonedAl for now. Maybe you can.
You'll just have to imagine the fire.
Yeah, you'll.
Where are you at? I'll pretend I'm him.
Yeah, you can pretend you're him. That's great. That's great. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for watching this. I was your caster today. My name is Klyka, and with me was Kid Riot.
Pleasure to be here as always.
Yeah, thank you very much for casting with me. I'm handing this off to our wonderful, wonderful host, PoisonedAl, who's going to do the after-match interviews. Thank you very much, everyone. Bye-bye.
Yes, wasn't that a great match? Like Klyka said, chat was just like, nyeh, 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 and you're going to roll over the Jesters, nyeh, nyeh, nyeh. Well, shows what you know, because I don't know what you saw, but that was no rollover to me. That was an absolute fantastic match. So, first of all, you're over this side. Furiosis, congratulations on that win.
Thanks a lot.
As always, that was a fantastic to watch, but doubly so against a worthy opponent. What do you think of the Jesters?
I tell you what, I was very surprised. In my honest opinion, I found that the ground play wasn't to their strength, but they took out Sunderers rapidly. We made the mistake of not defending them properly at the start of it. In fact, we rolled Sunderers at the beginning, and they just got destroyed. So I think when you said about the chaos, Klyka said about the chaos, that was a very good point. We were caught by surprise, I think. Not to say that we didn't treat them with respect and play our best there.
Well, I was very impressed by the Jesters Air Force. You beat Red October last time. Yet the Jesters managed to keep you in check. What do you think of their Air Force?
I wasn't too sure about that air. I think they had some good pilots, and they had some medium-level pilots. But I know it gave us a lot of a challenge during the match. They are from Cobalt, and Cobalt is a very air-experienced outfit, so I figured that they're going to have a good baseline of air. Their players will all be experienced in aircraft. Not necessarily all great, but all experienced.
Oh yeah, definitely. What I really loved watching you guys do was pull wave upon wave of Sunderers with Furies on top. Just like every time your Sunderer went down, another 3 or 4 or even 5 buses were just barreling down the road just to replace it. Was that something you trained to do?
It's something we practiced. We had quite a set strategy for this. It obviously wasn't dynamic enough for what the Jesters did, because we expected something different, and it had worked on different occasions. But what they did needed a more dynamic approach from us. I found that when we could make the fight infantry, we would win. So we could fight against slightly higher numbers with our Alpha squad, which was our infantry squad. But when it came to the other stuff, I think it was a bit difficult.
Yeah, what do you think of their stalker infiltrators?
I didn't see them.
Oh, yeah. Padawanchichi. Right, I'll hand over to Power Puffers, who's represented here by this mannequin. Hello. Well, all I can say, Power Puffers, that was great. That was an awesome fight to watch. No one put any money against towards you, I reckon. But they're fools. That was a really good match. Really great to watch. So, how was it coming up against the favourites in this match?
Well, first of all, I'd just like to apologise to Greedle, King of Fried Chicken, or Emperor of Cobalt. But yeah, the match was really difficult. I haven't spoken to my guys yet. I wasn't on the ground. But from what I heard at halftime is that Any Elite were just all over the place. They were all over us. One of the tactics that our guys noted about Any Elite was the gals and putting the squad leaders in the gals and having a continual supply of men in the gals, and our guys noted that in mid-time. And the one thing that I'll say about the Jesters, and I think it was noted by one of the commentators, is that Jesters are very reflective. We'll look at this match, and we'll look at the mistakes we've made, and we will come back 10 times stronger the next time, and that's how we adapt. There's absolutely no criticism whatsoever within the team at the moment. All of the guys received a hero's welcome when they came back to our team speak. Our guys are just proud to be Jesters, and one of the main things, the points that were made, is that Jesters are a 12-month-year-old community or 14-month-year-old community, and Any Elite are 11-year-old community. We recruit. We don't have a selective recruitment process. I was saying to one of our guys, has been in PlanetSide 2 for maybe a month. I know Any Elite are much more selective with the recruitment process. They have a lot of very good skilled players. And we're just happy to be, to me, it was a moral victory. A lot of people saying that in the Twitch stream, and I would totally agree. Really, really proud to be Jester. I'm really, really happy. And next time, in the second series, if we go for it, I reckon that you'll see a better, stronger team. And the one thing that was that I'm hoping that people will look at Jesters is that we were always viewed as the underdogs. We were always completely disregarded. We were always completely looked, that these guys aren't a big deal. And I'd like to think that this match has changed people's mind, and I'd like to think that next time it's going to be better, even better, because we're going to look at Any Elite's tactics from this match, and as I said, we're very reflective. We're going to be coming back at them.
Well, so you had your own tactics, like I mentioned before. Those stalker infiltrators. I play a lot of infiltrator myself, and that got my respect. Just having a guy just backcapping them.
We have a name for that
again.
guy. I don't want to give away our strategy too much, but we have a name for that guy, and that guy was called Strike Knifez, and he was in the team. And his sole and only duty, and this, I don't know, noticed it in the first match against Rock Paper Shotgun, his sole and only purpose throughout the entire match is to be a jerk, and that's the title we give him. He's the jerk, and he is essentially there to harass, cap points behind enemy backs, just annoy enemies, and he's done it quite well. Our guys were in fits laughing when I don't know if it annoyed Any. I mean, Any just tend to get on with it, I think. But...
Oh, I was watching. They had flashlights all over the place. So they were looking around with those black lights all around the point. They couldn't find him for the longest time. It was brilliant.
Yeah, man. Our guys were laughing. Our guys thought it was hilarious.
I noticed that you went very defensive. Was that the plan, or was that just to not give any ground? I say you were very aggressive at the very end, but like the very first round, you held on like a dog on a bone. You would not let that point go. It was like at the very end that you managed to.
I mean, I know for a fact that wasn't the plan. But that was we didn't prepare that. I think that's just how the match played out. I mean, we had no plan of defending or we planned to attack, like every outfit, but we had no set plan of defending. And I think it was just pure coincidence that we held that initial point for 30 minutes, 20 minutes. I don't know how long it was. And then in the second half, our guys got a lot more aggressive. and it was like I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, because I wasn't on the ground, and the one thing that we couldn't see from the Jesters is we couldn't see our own troop movements because the camera was always from the TR perspective. So it's hard to say what was happening. But from what I know, our outfits, our whole platoon are usually within one channel. I don't know how any elite function if they separate their squads into different TeamSpeak channels. So maybe that had something to do with it. That being, we were just able to hold any elite back through coordination in one channel. I don't know. I'm just kind of guessing here, but it was an amazing fight from Ini. We expected a tough fight. They brought a tough fight, and yeah, props go to Ini. Congrats.
Yes, once again, Furiosis. Absolutely phenomenal. We will see you in the EU finals. So, how do you fare your chances against, was it Rebel Rifles and who else was it? Oh, Mercenaries, of course. I do apologise, Mercenaries. So, how do you fare your chances?
I wouldn't like to say anything. I mean, we'll keep on training. We've got 2 weeks. There's a great game to watch tonight. There'll be a great game to watch next week with Mercenaries, Rebel Rifles. I'd like to say, yeah, Powerpuffers, you guys did do excellent, and it was really interesting watching the way you played.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. That was a great match.
I do have, by the way, from the caster spoof, I do have to do a little shout out here real quick to one of the Jesters players. I don't know who it was, but it was his number was ComClash NC number 05, and he did a really good play where he managed to take out, I think, 2 guys and an enemy max all in close proximity by himself, and I nominate him for MVP.
Oh, I think that could be Ethnic Badger. I'm not too sure. 05. Yeah, I think it could be Ethnic Badger, or I can't say his name because it's a swear word. I call him P-Hat.
Anyway, kudos from the caster booth to that man.
Alright, thanks, man.
Right, if there's no more interruptions, Klyka, I will mention if you like some hot Vanu on Vanu action, maybe you want to stay up tonight and watch the Community Cash American version, which is at 6 PM Pacific Standard Time. That's Dash and Fall versus the Future Crew. That also should be a very good fight. Also, check us out at ps2comclash.com or at ps2comclash. Twitter. Got that wrong, didn't I? Anyway, thanks to Sony, ProSieben, PlanetSide Universe, Shoutcast, and especially to you, the viewer. We love you all. Mwah. See you next time.